Everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Luke Triton. Today is the 27th of December 2020 and today marks 15 years of Ben 10. How weird is that to say 15 years of this show and it's still going strong. The fandom is still amazing. A few of the artists from the original show have come back every now and then with a new drawing of a new alien, which I think is really cool. Of course, fan base members are still doing their own fan arts and stories and whatever else. You're still going to see cosplays and props, myself included. I've made a few modifications to the Omnitrix toys, and that's what this video is going to be about today. So as you can see in the title and the thumbnail of this video, I'm going to be talking about the modified toy for the Omnitrix as seen in Alien Force. Now then, when I went back and watched all of Ben 10 again, it was interesting to see how things have developed. Something that made sense. I was like, oh yeah, there was that thing, of course. And getting used to this Omnitrix, it was kind of weird. Obviously, the one from Omniverse is a more popular design. The Automatrix is quite interesting. Obviously, the original Omnitrix is my favourite. So for me, this is kind of not the ugly duckling, but the one that kind of stands out. This is the, what's the word I'm looking for? Recalibrated. Christmas has just come and gone. My brain has stopped working, so this could be a bit of a clumsy video. But anyway, this is the recalibrated version of the original prototype Omnitrix. And because I had this toy, I was a bit reluctant to kind of modify this. But, I'm kind of glad I did in the end because obviously it was something else to do. It was nice to be able to have an upgraded version of this toy and put it next to my other version as well. If you want to see what that looks like, there will be a link in the description for that video. Check it out because it is really cool. But yeah, this isn't really too much to talk about. Obviously the main piece here is where all of the good stuff happens, all the lights and sounds. Just to go over it now. We have this switch here on the bottom. The Omnitrix obviously comes to life. You can turn the dial, snap it down. Plenty of fun for anybody who wears one. So this kind of main piece has been left nearly untouched. As you can see, I've had to, if I turn it around that way, it's a bit too dark. But yeah, I've had to put some glue and tape onto the kind of main piece itself, which some people might think is a terrible thing. I had to do this with the other Omnitrix toy as well. But in order for me to get the strap on, it's something I had to do. And if I move a little bit closer, you can also see, kind of difficult, if I pop that up again, it might be a bit easier here. So you can see along here, I've added in these black lines on the green piece and on the main dial. So on the original toy, when it's just, unsullied, it is kind of more plain. There aren't these black lines, but looking at the show, obviously these black lines are present. So using the appropriately sized pen, I just thought I'd put them in. And honestly, when you look at it, it does make quite a big difference because it gets rid of that bland color and it's really cool. I like it. I think that's actually a really cool detail. But the straps themselves, these are made out of foam. The main kind of piece itself is the same blue foam that I had from a roll mat, which I originally used for the strap on the other Omnitrix toy. I've then wrapped it around with some 2mm green foam. This down the middle is some black foam, and I've been able to make this really well. I'm quite surprised how this turned out. So knowing what the design was like, had to kind of make some green foam on the sides and some black down the middle. And I was a bit concerned when it came to putting the black foam in first, or later I should say, because I did the green first, then the black. But it's so smooth, I could put my fingers on it, you can feel where, each colour of the foam kind of starts and ends. But it's so smooth, I'm actually really impressed with myself, because I didn't think this would work. I was so scared, because, this was not my favourite Omnitrix. I thought if I get this wrong, I've basically ruined the toy, and for me, I'm just so glad it works. If I try and open up a little bit, it's a bit tricky to, I don't want to open it up too much, because something's going to snap. The foam has been positioned in a way where the foam has been curved, and on the inside here, I'm using Gorilla Tape up against the back of that foam to force that curved shape. If I did it straight and then tried to bend it round afterwards, the foam could snap, something could rip off, and that would be a bit of a problem. So I thought this was a pretty good solution, and it does actually do its job. But if I try and hold it here, yeah, you go. You can see right there, a bit where the glue, the tape rather, it's kind of lifting up a bit. That's not so much a problem because it hasn't come off any further. But it just may potentially lead to concerns where some more pieces might rip off. Another area, if I can try and show you, is a bit difficult. Trying to keep these areas around here nice and tidy is a bit tricky as well. Obviously having to get a lot of glue in there, some tiny straps of tape. It's really intricate, something I wasn't really too sure would work because the strap design is so much thinner, it's so much more different to the original omnitrix toy. I had to think differently, but ultimately it does work. Now when it actually comes to putting this toy on, as you can see here, I've got some Velcro going on. I was able to staple the Velcro. It's sticky back Velcro, so I thought, that'd be alright, but it needs a little extra something. So I've got some staples there. I was able to hide it underneath the Gorilla Tape, and I got some small foam bits there to make it nice and soft. So when I go to actually put it on my wrist, there's not going to be any scratching. Yeah, thinking ahead, And on the other side, I cut into the foam slightly, so I put the other Velcro piece on the top. I think that's just as it is. This is sticky back Velcro, but I think for that one, I also added some super glue. It's been a while since I made this, I must confess. About a month, maybe a month and a half ago. I had this sat to a side for a long time. I wasn't sure to make a video on this or not. But now that you can see here, it's a bit tricky going through the process of how I made this again, because again, it's been sat to a side for ages. But it slides on nice and easily, and the only thing I have to really concern myself over is having to stretch the whole bloody thing round and make it sit on top of each other. Now, normally at this point, I would kind of aim it downwards like this and have it pressed against something in order to get that strap all the way over. It's a bit difficult, and even then you can see that massive seam there, but it's not a problem. It's nice and comfy, it fits, and the Omnitrix looks so much better with a much thicker strap. That was the original reason why I modified this toy. The original strap was lost, I can't actually grab it, but it was also very thin and flimsy. It's made out of silicone and it wraps around your wrist really easily, which is really cool. However, in order to actually strap it together, this was the original idea, where if you, again, I can't show you the original strap, I've lost it, I'm sorry, but you basically had 3 teeth kind of sticking out. They weren't hooks, so you can't actually keep it still, but I was going to cut them off and just add some Velcro, but then I went all in with this thicker strap. But the original toy strap for me basically was rubbish. This is much better. It's custom as well, which is, by default, much cooler in my opinion. And now I have 2 modified Omnitrix toys. May as well do a quick comparison, so here's the original Omnitrix toy. Again, full video for the details are in the description below. The toy reviews for both of these Omnitrix toys will be in the description as well. But ultimately, I think this looks really cool to see them, much more buffer, much more thicker next to each other. Oh, I love these so much. The Omnitrix is such a cool gadget. And these toys are some of the best toys I ever had when I was a child. So, there we go. That is the end of this video. Thank you all ever so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you all in the next episode. It's hero time!